We are honored to have Sheikh Ziaullah Khan. He is a motivational Muslim speaker, and mashallah, he's very active in da'wah all over the world, especially in Africa. He has a center in Halifax, right? Yes. So inshallah, without further ado, Sheikh Ziaullah Khan, and the topic is leaving a legacy.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala khatamin nabiyyin amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, welcome. Actually, my da'wah is not into Africa. Other places, but I've gone places, and for me right now, I have a bit of jet lag. It's 1:30 or 2 o'clock in Halifax. I had just fallen asleep just before. So bear with me, inshallah. And my talk today has a bit of an ulterior motive. There's something behind it, inshallah. I think this one is making it. So legacy, brothers and sisters, what does it mean by having a legacy? And what do you want to leave behind in life? Because everyone comes here for Salat al-Maghrib, Isha, and all of the things that we do, and all of the lives, and how we live them. So you're doing every single day whatever you're doing, but remember that your one day in your life is like your whole life. Because whatever you do daily, this is what your life is about. People usually think that just because they do something different in one day, and then every day is the same routine, they think that their life is somehow going to be different down the road. So every single day, whatever you do is part and parcel of how you're going to live your life. So what is the thing that you're going to leave behind? What is the measure of your worth? What are you worth? Some people say, oh, I have this, Steve Jobs who left, what is it? Apple. And bananas and all of these other things that he left behind, that his worth was $56 billion, 56 billion. And I remember one, because I think he's half Syrian or something like that, and I remember one of these ignoramuses, one TV announcer, she was quoting, she said, there's no way that he could have been an Arab, as the Arabs didn't have any brains. So the problem here is, what is your worth? He had $56 billion. He could have flown the sky every single day and not been able to expend that. But then that's what his worth, that's what he left behind. What else did he leave behind? That's the question that they have to ask. But us as Muslims, we have to actually ask, what are we going to leave behind? And when is the last time you thought of, what are the things that you will leave behind? What is it that you're going to leave behind? A house, a car, what? A bank balance? What is it? So these are the questions that you need to ask very, very poignantly every single day. Will you be remembered as a balance sheet? Are we going to be remembered that, oh, the time that we left behind with our kids? What is it that really drives us to leave behind? And time, brothers and sisters, is not renewable. Time is not renewable. Once it goes, that's it. You know, they keep saying, time is money, man. You know, you go on the street, time is money, man. Time is money. Well, time is not money. Because money cannot buy time. And if it could have, even, for example, for this guy, I don't know why I remembered him, this Apple fellow, you know, he could have bought time. But he couldn't, because time is not money. Time is not renewable, money is. So this is simple, but it doesn't sink in. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he said, I hate to see a man who is hollow. Man, woman, any believer that is hollow, meaning ajwaf, is hollow from inside and character-wise. He is neither successful in managing the affairs, the business of this world, nor of the hereafter. Meaning he's not good in anything, she's not good in anything, not good in business in this life, and not good in business for the hereafter, nothing. And that's why the idol worshippers قالوا ما هي إلا حياتنا الدنيا نموت ونحيا. they used to say, this is only the life of this world. We live and we die. That's it. We die and we live. That's what we do. So this was the thing. And they said that nothing eats us except dahr. Except time will eat some of us, some of our things. That's it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا لَهُمْ بِذَلِكَ مِنْ عِلْمٍ. Then they don't have any knowledge of that. إِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يَظَنُّونَ. That except that they actually have conjecture. They have some kind of dhan. They're making it up. Oh, only the dahr, we live and we die and that's all. And this is what the idol worshippers used to say, the pagans used to say. And our actions have almost become like that. We live and we die and that's it. And nothing left behind. What is it, the thing that are you leaving behind? Orphans that you used to look after? Something that would give you sadaqah jariyah to come about? What is it, the thing that you're going to leave behind? These are important questions that nobody asks us. It makes people feel uncomfortable. Even youth, they feel uncomfortable. Why is he asking me that? Well, we don't know how long we're going to live. So we need to ask these questions from us because it is time that is moving. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, he stated, and who was somebody that left every single thing because he came to Islam a bit late, and he was so upset with that he left everything, he moved close to the masjid, he was praying the night, he was fasting the day, he had gone really to the other side until Darda radiallahu anha, she complained to Salman al-Farsi, and everyone knows the narration from there. Inshallah, if we have time, we can explain that. But this companion, radiallahu anhu, he said, one who always inspects what he has will eventually discover something missing. If you inspect something that you have, if you take hisab of yourself, you will always discover that something is missing. And the one who does not build up his patience to meet the calamities will become their victim. So if you don't have sabr and you don't build up the sabr in your life and your ibadah, then any bala that comes your way, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save all of us, that if it comes your way, then you come undone. There's no way that you can move forward. And then he said, consider this, if you praise the people, they will praise you. But if you mind your own business, they will turn away from you and they will criticize you. So if you praise somebody, and they like that, right? But if you mind your own business, you know, why does he walk like this and he doesn't say salam to me? Oh, look at him. Look, he's mutakabbir. We have all of these things in our system, and that we need to actually change. So he said, if you stay away from people and you mind your business, do your thing, they will start criticizing you. And someone asked, what do you advise me? Advise me. So Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, he said, constantly praise one who will surely bring you to account on a day when your true poverty is exposed. So meaning to say, praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is going to take hisab from you, and He is going to account from you, and He is going to ask you, and He is going to all of the things that we've been hiding. You see, this is the problem with us. We just think we're going to get away from everything. Even now cameras are there. You can't even get away from a foolish little camera. How about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So this is very important for us to have this cognizance that we can't get away. So what is time for us, brothers and sisters? And why do we waste it? Ask a mother with a baby in her womb, what is a month? Ask her, seriously. Ask your wife, ask your sister, what is it to have a baby in the womb for 1 month? And especially ask her, what is it when it is actually delayed? You know, when it goes a little bit over the period, like, you know, one week or 2 weeks, if the baby is a bit delayed, just ask her, what is this 1 month before the delivery? Ask your sister, ask your mother. Ask, what was it? Ask if you have your mothers alive, ask, Mom, what was it like you carrying me? You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah, she forgets these things because after childbirth and, having so much love and concern for the baby, the woman usually forgets it. But usually if you ask a woman right after childbirth, they said, we don't want to have any more babies. Because it is a very, hardship that the woman goes through. So ask a mother, what is a month? Ask a person who's stuck in a storm, in a violent storm, in a hurricane. Ask them what is 1 hour. Seriously. Even if you're in a plane and you have turbulence, heavy turbulence, ask what is 1 hour. I was over Iceland one time. Being a believer and all this, really, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you feel weak sometimes, seriously. I was over Iceland and they had Greenland, they had a storm. And the plane was shaking and shaking, and I thought, okay, 10 minutes, and I was shaking. Oh, Sheikh, Assalamu alaikum. I will meet you, inshallah. I didn't, mashallah. I thought you went 14. Mashallah. You shocked me, Sheikh, I totally forgot what I was saying. So I was over Greenland, and the plane was shaking. And 10 minutes passed, it was shaking, and it started shaking more. And then half an hour passed, it was shaking more, and I was asking Allah to remove this from me. 45 minutes passed, it was shaking more. 1 hour passed, it was actually shaking, and I couldn't believe that this thing is not going. I said, this is finished, the plane can't take this, that's it. Oh Allah, forgive me. My kids, my wife, all of those there. And everyone is a pork eater on this plane because I couldn't eat the food, I couldn't even get a Muslim meal because I had to get this flight quickly to go to the conference. And every single thing was pork. I didn't eat that. I said, that's it, I'm finished. That's it. And I asked the stewardess, she was walking by, and I said, excuse me, I'm very sorry to bother you, but why is it shaking so much? She said, we're going over some kind of a very violent storm underneath, and this is what's happening. So believe me, that hour that passed by, Allah knows I was sweating. I made tawbah. I did everything. I said, oh, Allah, forgive me for this. And I prayed for my mom and dad and everyone. And I said, that's it, finish, But anyhow, alhamdulillah, you see me here after 7 years. Ask a person who's in an accident, what is 1 second? When you're in an accident, everything goes slow. Ask them what is the seconds. And ask a, person who runs a race, what is a millisecond? 9.825, whatever they count it as. Usain Bolt running at, under 9.4, whatever it is. What is a millisecond? So think that cannot be relived. There's no control. We carry scars of regret far deeper than tracks of tears. There's nadam always with us. There's always tracks of, we have done a lot of things in our lives and we don't realize what we have done. We have done a lot of arrogance, takabbur, so much with the people. We thought we were good. We thought my recitation is good. Oh, my knowledge is good. This one is a jahil murakkab. Look at me, I'm alim. All of these things, you have to be careful how you study yourself. So the question here is, brothers and sisters, is that what am I going to leave to my kids? A house, money, what? We, as Muslims, we are convinced that we can never do anything well. This is what's happening in the last few decades. We are convinced we cannot do anything well. So our school systems that we make, we have to follow a public school system. The best school systems are made. Non-Muslims who make them private schools, they do not follow a public school system. When we do it, we follow a public school system and even do it worse than the public school. So we follow a failed system. On top of that, we do it even worse than they do. And then we think, oh, that's great. Oh, we've done a great job. So we, as Muslims, we have begun to think that we are doing every single thing we do, we can do it well. With the media, we have billions of dollars, and there's no reaction to the media at all. Look at our communities. We're good at backbiting, good at slandering, good at gossiping. Places of worship that are not clean sometimes, left there for, the shoe rack is smelling of high smell of feet and all of those things. The Imam should actually be, exhorting the people to actually clean their feet, make sure that they come clean to the mosque so they don't drag it on the prayer. Make sure your feet are clean so that somebody making sajda on top of the prayer place that you're making so it doesn't get a smell. It distracts the worshiper. So you have, coming to the masjid is an etiquette. There's so many things that you should do coming to the masjid. change your intention going to the masjid, how you go, how you walk in, what dua you make, how you sit down, how you don't disturb people, how you don't talk while other people are praying. People start talking right in the middle, right after the prayer, they start talking. And you see it all the time. In our center we have banned talking. We've said, listen, 10 minutes after Isha, 15 minutes until every single person has done their sunnah, just stop talking. Please, no talking. Want to talk? Please go outside, go in the corridor, out. Rasulullah ﷺ said, the one who is praying, and this is sahih, the one who is praying, the one who is reading the Quran, the one who is reading the Quran should lower his voice for the one who is praying. How about our kalam? Talking. Well, somebody's praying. And if you understand different languages, your prayer is disturbed. So we have to understand, our communities have to understand some things that, there's time for seriousness also. When you're coming, you have to sometimes be serious, and then you have to also be relaxed sometimes. Some brothers are in a straitjacket all the time. It's a haram halal syndrome for them everywhere. Or some of them are just, loose all the time. There has to be time for seriousness, and there has to be time for people to relax also. There's no place to gather. Where is the place to gather? Where should we gather? And what do we have for these youth? You see? Texting, looking at who's texting, SMS languages, what's going on. Because for myself sitting here, I'm not interesting. You notice? I'm not interested. Why? Because I can't have a Mercedes coming through my eyes, smashing the window, side effects, whatever happens in Hollywood movies. I don't have that with me. So you really have to listen to me and say, oh, this guy, what is he saying? Oh, I see. Oh, that's what he means. Man, he should finish it because my brain can't take anymore. Legacy, what is he talking legacy? I gotta go home and watch my TV program, it's too much. Saturday night legacy. Why is he telling me I should be watching a movie somewhere? Seriously. So, when we gather, we need a place to gather, and place to gather in a nice place. There should be facilities for us so that we can enjoy also. And then people should be cognizant. We bring our kids, we drop them in the middle of nowhere, and our kids are sugar excited. They come in and all of a sudden one kid was kicking the walls. I told the father, I said, why is he kicking the walls? Oh, no, it's okay, Akhi. They have some energy. I went to a Buddhist school. For 2 hours, the kids sat like this, listening to my explanation on Islam. 2 hours, they sat like this, asked questions, not a movement. Close to 2 hours, almost a time. Not a movement. Our kids come in, bang, bang. Kid, oh, the father, has so much love. Oh, my darling, go kick some more, please. Smash the mosque. Go ahead. Put a hole in there. One kid went in and gave a hole, put a hole in the wall with his heel. So I told AlRashid, I said, AlRashid, what is that? He said, I don't know. I think they were judo and karate fighting. I said, mashallah. So now we have to go look after the hole in the masjid because they were judo and karate fighting. What do you tell AlRashid? He's a good brother. He's always with us. What should we do? Beat him up? You know what I mean? Oh, judo and karate fighting? Come, let me give you also judo. Yeah, I'll judo you into the wall also. So what do we do with this? So this is the problem. We don't have places to gather and the right institutions. And we need to look at that. Inconsequential bits of sands on a beach, washed away indiscriminately. That's what we are. No, with that said, just like a torrent on the sea, just if you blow, the wind blows hard, we go this way, wind blows hard, we go this way. And with that, the foam is like that. It's not in depth. You put your finger in it, it dissipates, it smells. And this is how Rasulullah ﷺ described us. That we will be many, but we will be just like this foam. And if you analyze the foam, it's like that. It has a smell, it's not deep, it's not in depth, it moves with the wind, it just goes to the side. It has no prominence in the river at all. So we minimize every success and we maximize every failure. If AlRashid does anything good, very few people talk about it. If the management does anything good, Someone bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un. Just keep silent, didn't see it, oh, nothing. If one thing bad happens, oh, akhi, did you see him? Did you see what he did? Did you see what she did? Oh, and this will spread into a different story. Like, it could be like somebody had an argument, it went from an argument, it goes to another person, it goes from the argument, said, you know, they got together and the other one punched his face. He said, oh yeah, punched his face. No, he took a chair and he broke it. No, not only that, he lifted the masjid and he threw it. And it just exaggerates from one thing to another. That's why, you know, النَّمَامْ لَا يَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةِ, that the one who carries tail will not enter into Jannah. And this is what actually happens to us. We exaggerate things. We maximize our failures and we minimize our success. So legacy, brothers and sisters, number one, that Rasulullah ﷺ, what is the legacy? And you know, so many things that we can go, and the whole night will not be enough for what Rasulullah ﷺ left. But just to begin with him, because he is our Prophet ﷺ. Well, the legacy, of course, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ وَهُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this to him, that this is the book, and there is no doubt therein, and this is guidance for the people of taqwa. So this is, the Quran itself is a legacy for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but although it was wahi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left kindness to man, to humans, to animals, to insect. You know, he came out when he was very sick in the last days, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He came out and he said, whose back I have whipped, here's my back, whip it. Whose reputation I have actually harmed, here's my reputation, say what you have to say. Meaning to say, here I am as a man. He's giving an example of how people should be clean, clear. That this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what it is. And so he left this kind of legacy to the humans. To the animals, he told the people, don't cook on the ant hill. To the insects, sorry, don't cook on the ant hill because it is, there's a home up there. So he told his companions to cook otherwhere. Well, for the animals, there was a dog that was giving birth, and he moved the whole procession of people actually marching. He moved the whole procession for one female dog. So this person was imbued with an extreme amount of kindness, and this is the legacy he left. He left the legacy of worship. Rasulullah ﷺ used to worship till his feet used to swell. And then Aisha radiallahu anha said, why are you doing that? أَفَلَا أَكُونُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا? Should I not be a grateful servant? Meaning to say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven my past, my future and present sins. Should I not be a grateful servant? And that is important, that you become grateful. So he left a legacy of worship. That he used to, when he used to be by himself, he used to worship long. When he used to be with people and there's hardship, he used to shorten the prayer. Look at the hikmah. And sometimes you go in some places, people are tired, kids are, you know, struggling to get into prayer, and the imam is continuing on, leading the prayer, continuing long, elongating it. And it's really, you know, the hikmah is that you don't do these things actually to tire people from worship itself. So that is extremely important. Rasulullah ﷺ left justice, so many things. So that's the legacy he left behind. Legacy of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh, because he's second in maqam to the Messenger of Allah ﷺ from the Ahl Sunnah. And he left a legacy, we can pick so many from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh, but he left a legacy of generosity. Generosity. Umar radiallahu anh, as everyone knows that, but this is, I'm going to give it a different point today. That everyone knows that, we've heard it in our khutab here, many masajids have that. That Umar radiallahu anh came with half of his wealth. And then Rasulullah asked, he said, what have you left behind? He said, I have left half. I have left half of my wealth behind. Then Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh he came with all of it. And Rasulullah asked him, what have you left behind? He said, I left Allah and His Messenger. The point here is, just imagine somebody giving half of his wealth. Half of his wealth. Who can do that? We beg and we will plead, oh please, akhi, please, we need, akhi, please, be generous. And there are many good generous brothers and sisters. And wallah, Muslims are extremely generous. In this day of materialism, Muslims are still extremely generous. They're very good. But half of the wealth, and then somebody giving all of it. And Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh wasn't a poor person. Giving all of the wealth. So what kind of a man was he? Seriously. This is the magnitude one have to understand in his trajectory of living with the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. How did he grow? To be somebody, to give everything. Can you imagine that? We barely make a little donation, it barely pinches us a little bit, we forget about it the next week. He gave every single thing. And then Umar radiallahu anhu, he said, if I never have the opportunity to undo Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, that it will be today. Meaning he said, I will undo him today, meaning I will compete with him today and I will finish it. But when he saw Abu Bakr Siddiq giving everything, he said, there's no way. He said, I shall never attempt to vie with you again. I will never compete with you again. Impossible, how can you compete with that? But look at the students of the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that's why in Ibn Hibban, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he stated, he said, مَا قَلَّ وَكَفَى خَيْرٌ مِمَّا كَثُرَ وَأَلْهَى. He said, what is little and sufficient is better than what is a lot and deviates you. Alha, meaning you deviate. So مَا قَلَّ وَكَفَى خَيْرٌ مِمَّا كَثُرَ وَأَلْهَى. That is important. Another hadith in Ibn Majah, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stated, إِنَّ النَّفْسَ, that the soul لَن تَمُوتَ, that it does not die حَتَّى تَسْتَكْمِلَ رِزْقَهَا, meaning until it actually finishes its rizq. So Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he actually knew that. And Umar radiallahu anhu knew that. Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, he knew that. All of these companions who had lots, they knew that. Abu Dharr al-Ghifari was extremely poor. When he gave the string of dates, he knew that. He knew that the risk cannot be taken away from you. Bilal radiallahu anhu had a string of dates hanging from his roof. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, what is the mahiyah, ya Bilal? What is this thing that you have? Meaning, what kind of dunya do you have here? He said, I only had it, perchance you might visit me. You see, he could have said, oh, it is for me, or I left it for me, but he said, I only kept it for you. So these are the students, you see. These are the students. The legacy of Umar radiallahu anhu. And there's another hadith I skipped, that the sadaqah itself, it will extinguish the ghadab Rabbi, meaning that it will extinguish the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it will actually, it will fight against it will fight against a miserable end, miyat as-su, meaning it will fight against a bad end. Well, how can you say it? A miserable finishing in this life. Meaning to say that if you give and you're always a giver, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you a good ending in this life. Umar radiallahu anhu, his legacy was bravery. He had many other legacies, but he left behind bravery, that he was a brave person. Umar radiallahu anhu asked the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Ya Rasulullah, can we openly proclaim our faith? Because in Dar al-Arqam, when he came, and the Muslims were actually being attacked all the time, he asked them, he said, can we openly proclaim our faith? And do we have the right to do that, regardless of whether we live or we die? Rasulullah ﷺ said, yes, you can openly do that. There is no harm in it, but he was being cautious. Then Umar said, then why hide? Then why hide? The truth is that we should declare it. Truth is that we should declare it. Because these were men. That's why one of the Salaf as-Salih, he said, oh my son, don't be 1,000 men. He said, my son, be 1,000 men. And if you cannot be 1,000 men, be one.